years old when I heard 3 words that changed my life forever. You have cancer. I survived, obviously, but my scars remind me every day that my journey is not really ever going to be over. The treatment, the radiation, the chemotherapy, everything puts me at huge risk for future health issues. So, I was 22 years old 2 years ago, and something happened. The doctors discovered a weird lump forming in my neck. And after months of not really knowing what it was, I said, take it out. They removed the left and the right side of my thyroid, and then after lots of testing, they finally discovered what it was. Stage 4 thyroid cancer, and it had metastasized or spread to my rib cage. The doctors told me that they wanted to start radiation treatment right away, and so out of fear, I obeyed their orders. The treatment was gross and inhumane. I swallowed a radioactive pill, and then I was quarantined in my own home for days. I wasn't allowed to stand within 3 feet of someone for longer than 5 minutes in fear that I would give them biological damage. Everything tasted like metal. I was nauseous. So after a couple months later, I got more tests and scans to see if the treatment worked. And the doctor called me back and told me that he wanted me to get another round of radiation. I don't know what it was, but something inside of me just told me that it just didn't feel right. So I told him that I would call him back, but I didn't. Instead, I focused on my career as a dancer in New York City, where I quickly learned that you have to be as versatile as possible. My mentor told me that I have to be, you have to learn a new skill. You have to learn how to stand out from your competition. So the skill I picked was singing. And I called upon the talents of Katie Thaffel, a singing coach in New York City for Broadway stars. I remember going to my first lesson with her, and I was so scared of singing. I'd never sung in my life. I never sang in school choir. I didn't sing karaoke. I never even sang in the shower. I was that afraid of it. So on the first lesson, she started me out by just humming a few notes here and there, and we worked our way up and down the scales. When it came to my health, I was really lost. I didn't really know what direction to go, but I set myself out on a mission to discover how I could cure myself. I stayed up late every night. I read articles and researched the cancer that I had. I read books about the long-term effects of radiation and chemotherapy and dieting with cancer. And I even sent my case over to doctors across the nation and asked them what I should do about my case. But most importantly, I continued to sing. I sang in the shower. I would hum a tune as I walked down the sidewalk. And of course, I sang in my lessons with Katie. At one of my lessons, I brought in a song that I could sing. It was Brave by Sarah Bareilles. When it came to singing the verse, I was completely fine. You can be amazing, you can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be the outcast or be the backlash of somebody's lack of love. But when it came to singing the chorus, I wonder what would happen if you say. My voice would crack and my eyes would swell up with water. I stopped singing and I said, Katie, I have no idea what is happening to me right now. I felt like I had a rock jammed in my vocal cords, like my voice was trapped inside of me. I started crying a lot by now, and I was hugging Katie, and she gave me tissues and everything. It was a mess. And then she said, it's okay, let it out. So I did. And let me tell you, I cried like I had never cried before. I was just a mess. So after I gained my composure, Katie said, stand up. So I did. She said, put your arms out. So I did. Stronger, she said. Open up your chest. So I did. Then she began playing the piano, and I followed her up the scales. Mi-a-e-o, mi-a-e-o, mi-a-e-o. I let it all go. All of the stress, the worry, the doubts, the fears, the doctor opinions, everything. I let it all go. And for the first time in my life, I heard my voice, my deep inner self. And it was powerful. And it was me. I realized at that moment that I had more power than I thought I did. My whole life, I've allowed for others to sway my decision about what to do with my health. As a 15-year-old with cancer, my parents decided what was best for me. Now, as a young adult, I was, out of fear, just blindly following what the doctors said for me to do. My whole life, I've been voiceless about my health. But now, I could hear my voice, and I knew what was right for me. So, I called my doctor back the next day, and I told him no, that I was not going to receive the radiation, and that I would keep in touch. He, of course, did not agree with my decision. My friends and family also thought I was a little bit crazy, but they respected and supported my decision. On many days, it wasn't easy. I was full of doubt and really fearful if I had made the right decision or not. Especially when obstacles came, like when I had to read through my 3,000-page medical record and search for tiny details about my past cancer treatment, or when my insurance company just decided that they didn't want to pay for my body scans. But I stayed along my path and I kept going and tried to stay strong. I chose bravery over fear. Today, there are still microscopic cancer cells in my body, but they have been shrinking down closer to zero as each day passes. The best part about it all is that they've been shrinking on their own without the use of further radiation treatment. I know now that it will continue to be my biggest fears that will lead me to my greatest victories. And every day, I will continue to sing. Thank you.